everyone, and welcome to Global View, a podcast that dives into today's pressing political issue. Today, we will be focusing on movements that have transitioned from street protest to a global outcry. The Iranian women's protest movement. It has evolved from hijabs to freedom and from tragedy to hope. This is a story that you don't want to miss.
September 2023, something happened in Iran that shocked the country and the world. So a 22-year-old woman named Mahsa Amini was arrested by Iran military police. They said that she was not wearing her headscarf properly. So a few hours later, Mahsa died in the police custody, and then her family said that she was healthy before the arrest. Many people believe that she was beaten. The terrible event made many Iranians very angry, and then protests quickly started in Mahsa's hometown and then spread to cities across Iran. People, especially women, went out into the streets to demand the justice. Women began to cut their hair and burn their headscarves in the public. These actions became powerful symbols. Cutting the hair is a way to mourn Mahsa, and then burning the headscarf was a sign of saying no to the rules focused on women. The protests were not just about Mahsa, they were about freedom, human rights, and a system that controls many parts of people's lives, especially women's lives. So the government reacted to the violence. The police and the security forces using tear gas, rubber bullets, and even live bullets. Thousands of people were arrested. Some were beaten and then others been killed. So the government also shut down the internet, so people couldn't share video or news with the outside world. But even with fear and danger, the protests continue for weeks. Young people, especially young women, become the face of this movement. They chanted the slogans like "Woman, Life, and Freedom." So the world started to pay attention. The United Nations and many human rights groups spoke out. And then the countries like the United States and members of the European Union commended Iran's action. Some even added new sanctions against the Iranian government and officials. So social media also played a big role. The video of the brave Iranian women taking off their headscarves, marching in the streets, and standing up to the police straight out of the world. These videos show that the world what was happening, even what the Iranian government tried to hide it. This moment became more than just a local protest. It became a symbol of courage and the fight of the freedom.
So behind the woman life freedom, right, we are witnessing more than just a protest against a single incident, and it is a challenge to the legitimacy of the entire system. First of all, this movement has raised unprecedented challenges to the legitimacy of Iranian regime. So in the past, the government often relied on religious authority and nationalism to maintain the control. But nowadays, more and more young people and women and even religious believers are questioning whether the current system truly represents the interests of people. This growing skepticism is not only reflected in the scale of any duration in the protest, but also in the people's deepening desire for freedom and justice. So secondly, the issue of women's rights has restored throughout the Middle East, while countries in the region have different religious and cultural contexts. Inequality in legal and social status for women is a common problem. And this kind of movement has sparked a renewed awareness among women about their rights and has prompted internal reflection in many countries about their gender policy and societal structure. And at the same time, the Iranian diaspora and global women's rights movement has shown strong support. And from social media to street protests, it's, for an example, from New York to Berlin, this cross-border solidarity has not only amplified the movement of international visibility, but also reassure the Iranian people that they are not alone. And finally, we are considering an important question. So, could this lead to any systematic change in the future? Although the regime continues to respond with repression, history shows us that the awakening of the public consciousness often marks the beginning of transformation. Whether or not politic change occurs in the short term, this movement has already planted the seeds of change deep within Iranian society.
In 1979, the Islamic Revolution changed Iran government. A new religion leadership came to power and made strict rules, especially for women. One of the first new law was that all women have to wear the hijab headscarf in public. Before the revolution, women in Iran had more freedom. They could choose how to dress and have better access to job and education. But after 1979, their rights were limited. Women were not longer allowed to appear in public without a hijab, and the government controlled many parts of their life. Many women disagree with these new rules. Just a few weeks after the revolution, on March 8, 1979, International Women's Day, thousands of women protest in the streets of Tehran. These protests lasted for several days, but the government used fear and violence to stop them. Even though the protests were shut down, Iranian women have never stopped fighting. Over the years, they have continued to speak up in small but powerful ways on social media, in school, and in public space. These actions show the strength and courage of Iranian women who keep demanding their freedom despite many challenges.
The voices of Iranian women fighting for freedom are penetrating censorship and barriers to reaching the world. This is not just a protest against the hijab, it is a powerful denunciation of an oppressive regime. The next time when you see those brave women in the news, please remember, they are fighting for everyone's right to choose.